Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reliable Movie Reviews. My name is Scott. I'm your host. This week, we'll be reviewing X-Men First Class. Before I go into any detail about this movie, I have to say that I'm a huge comic book person. All right, as if you couldn't tell by the geeky look of me. Comic books, by far the greatest outlet for creativity. Right. For kids nowadays, or in general. All right. This movie, it's supposed to be a prequel to the other X-Men movies, which are based off of the X-Men comic books. Personally, as from a comic book standpoint, this movie was horse shit, along with the continuity part of it. Horse shit. All right. Did not follow the comics, didn't really, follow the movies either, the past movies that it's supposed to be the prequel of. With that being said, this movie's fucking awesome, alright? I really hope that this is a prequel reboot, because this movie is just, by far, it did what The Dark Knight did for the Batman series, or the Batman Begins movie did for the Batman franchise. This movie is just so awesome. It is set in the 1960s when Professor X and Magneto become friends, and they are after a villain called Sebastian Shaw. His abilities are energy absorption. Of course, Professor X, he's a telepath. Magneto, magnetism. Professor X is played by James McAvoy. For those of y'all who don't know, that's Mr. Tumnus from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the agent's son in Wanted. Magneto is played by Michael Fassbender, who was Stelios from the movie 300. Of course, Sebastian Shaw is played by Kevin Bacon. Footloose, all those good movies. There are several other people in this, and I don't want to, mess up what all they've been in or anything, so I'm not even going to try, but they are very good actors. The only problem I had with this movie was the first 5 minutes when, the kid actors of Professor X and Magneto, they really annoyed me. But once you got past the initial, they're kids part, 10,000% this movie is so awesome. It has 2 cameos in it from previous X-Men people. Rebecca Romaine Stamos, she had a part in it. You can't miss her. The guy that played Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, was in it also as a cameo as Wolverine. Like I said, I really hope that this is a reboot prequel, because this movie was so awesome. Back to the story. It's Sebastian Shaw's trying to start World War III during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was an actual thing in the 60s. He's trying to start World War III so the humans will annihilate themselves and the mutants will be able to be the reigning species. He's basically Mega Magneto when it comes to what he wants. Him and Magneto, similar in their way they see things, as is Professor X and Magneto. The common thread here is that it's for civil rights of humans, and mutants. It has been correlated that Professor X and Magneto are Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Similar goals, different ways of achieving this. This movie is about their friendship and how it develops, and the training of younger mutants to help defend the people who fear and hate them. They're trying to protect them so they can live in peace. And the thing that struck me was it starts out pretty much the first X-Men movie with Magneto and being in Poland and being separated from his mother and father by the Nazis because he was Jewish. And it's, it just leads up to all these deep, issues which, the writers intentionally did in the comic books to, there was prejudice then in the 60s when it was created, and they created a group that was, prejudiced against because they were different. I love the comic books. This movie, it is not like the comic books. Like I said, if you go in expecting it to be like the comic book, you're going to be sadly, disappointed. Go in expecting a really good movie. This movie, oh my God, I just cannot say enough how awesome this movie is. Kevin Bacon, he's a little cartoony in it, but in a good way. There's a character in it that a lot of people are going to be like, that's a red Nightcrawler. It's Azazel, which in the comic books, that's who Nightcrawler's dad is. So that's why they're similar. But I'm digressing here. The movie, it's back to the movie. It shows Beast in his human form before he becomes Beast, and at the end of the movie, he is Beast in his blue fur, everything. Banshee, another one of my all-time favorites. Gambit is my all-time favorite comic book character of all time, and I just don't think they did him right in the Wolverine movie. He was good, but it wasn't Gambit, if you know what I mean. Banshee, the only problem I had in this movie about him was you couldn't really tell that he was supposed to be Scottish. His powers were awesome. I mean, visually superb, awesome. That was my only discrepancy with him, was you couldn't really tell he was Scottish. Havoc. Havoc in this movie was what Wolverine was in the X-Men franchise, the original 3 movies. He's the bad boy, whatnot. But definitely go watch this movie. I don't want to give a lot away because I want you to see this movie. It is, if you couldn't tell by the length of this video alone and how much I've ranted, go watch this movie. If you don't like this movie, I don't know what to say, because this movie has all the great elements. Just keep in mind, don't go into it expecting to see the X-Men movies, the first 3 movies, or something based on the comic book. This is a standalone movie, and by far, it's a 10 out of 10, definitely. Go watch it. I don't think it's in 3D at all. Let me check. As far as I know, they're not showing it in 3D at all, so you don't have to worry about paying any extra. It's go watch it. What are you still watching this video for? If you are, I appreciate it. If you like the reviews, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Let's keep these going. Just go watch it. This movie was awesome. Thank you very much. My name's Scott. I will see you when I see a new movie I think you should know about. See ya.